Testing, testing, 1, 2. Yeah, I think it's working.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Got it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here again. It's like clockwork. Wednesday night comes, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we show up. Thanks, you guys, for joining. I know it's like a lot later in different parts of the country, and it means a lot to me personally that you guys are willing to come week after week, you know, especially like you, Bill Dobman. I mean, it's late where you're at, you know, and you're a more mature gentleman. And
wow.
Right out of the chute. Wow,
Yeah.
that hurts. Woo.
And no, man, but he's like almost always here. He very rarely misses. It's pretty cool. So thanks, man. Just saying, I appreciate it. I wouldn't tease you if I didn't like you.
Thanks for putting us on.
No problem, man. So yeah, man, having a heat wave here in Santa Cruz, California. It's been like over 80 degrees. So we're, you know, stripping down, you know, and it's like, man, don't know really what to do. Right, Tim?
That's right.
Man, it's probably sweltering over where you're at too.
Well, it's foggy in the morning and then it clears up. But if you go out the valley, it gets really hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys have it rough, don't you?
Oh, man.
All the way up in the 80s, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Bill's humidity is in the 80s. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Actually, Brian's and ours pretty up there too. Not that high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, someone's got to do it. You know, it's a tough job.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You will survive.
That's right. So what's going on out there lately? I mean, anything new and exciting? Anything interesting? What's the news? Some gossip I haven't heard about?
I see a new guy on here.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
What's going on, Paul? Oh, I think you're on mute.
You're muted.
Yeah. Yep. You're on mute. Unmute and tell us about yourself. Where are you at? What do you do? Oh, you're still muted. Let's see. Oh, there you go. I think you got it now.
There we go.
There it is.
So I've been tuning in from afar, watching you guys, and I love it. And I said, this week I'm going to join. So
fantastic.
Here I am.
Where are you from, Paul?
New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton.
What exit?
Couldn't even tell you. Horrible. Yeah, we're like 45 minutes out of Philly, Pennsylvania. So I live in Pennsylvania, work right across the bridge in Jersey. I'm the second generation family business. So
cool. So what kind of work do you guys like to do generally? Do you do a little bit of everything or what?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We're like 60% residential, 40% commercial. We're like 72 frameless shower doors installed year to date this year.
Cool.
So it's not horrible. We already surpassed last year. COVID's been good for us because everybody started staying at home and working like mad on their houses. So it was scary in the beginning, and then like a switch went on and everything went gangbusters.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, we've experienced a similar thing. It's just like we haven't slowed down a bit the past couple of years. So yeah, it's been good for us too.
It was insane. So I laid off like 8 employees. Like March 23rd was like a life to my heart, and then I lost 2 of them, and I gained 3 new people, and I gained a head tech out of it, which is awesome. So I have the best crew we've had in my life.
Wow.
So yeah. So
congratulations.
Yeah, five guys working for me, and I got 3 girls working for me.
Excellent. Oh, you
Yeah.
got it paid, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grass is always greener, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you can get women to work for you, you're doing something right, man. That's awesome.
Well, it's trying at times. My wife works for me, and my oldest daughter works for me, and then I got her assistant. So two more. I got one girl that works part-time every other weekend. So
What's the name of your shop?
it's called Ewing Glass.
Ewing Glass.
Yes, sir. Ewing Glass and Mirror. Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, welcome. Really glad to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be
And-
here.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Brad Lehman. I don't remember Brad ever being on the call before. Are you there, Brad? Testing, 1, 2, testing.
That's Christina's dad. Brad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have never seen your whole name like that. It's usually it says Brattle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Brattle. It's Brattle. All right. Now I know who it is.
All right. Well, I'm here on the phone this time, so it's better not to see me on video.
I wouldn't say that, but you're coming through loud and clear, so
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
it is good.
Now I
Hey,
could
a lot
probably
of
go
us have
for
a-
walks in the park and have a meeting at the same time.
Mhm.
There you go.
There you go. Right on.
Just like your day at work. It's a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Every day.
True to form. True to form. Yeah, there's Christina now too. How about that?
Hey,
Hey. Yoo-hoo.
What's
Now
up?
it's
The
a
gang.
party.
Yeah. Put the band back together.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I'm pretty sure that Bill Dobbin was about to say something profound, and then I
No.
no. Oh, okay.
Oh, no. I'm waiting to see your agenda, Chris.
My agenda.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what can we talk about? We had my wife had an interesting experience today. She had a guy come in and tell her I guess he is a ex-physician, you know. So it's interesting when people come in and they want to tell you right away what they do. You know, yeah, because actually she had this other lady come in and let her know that she was a realtor. I told her like, yeah, I'm a realtor. You know, told her like 3 or 4 times, you know, that she was a realtor. So Tiffany was like, so I'm hearing that you're a realtor. It's like, so have you done a lot of bathrooms? She asked, you know, this lady, and she said, oh, I wouldn't say a lot.
No.
But then she had this other guy come and say, oh, you know, let her know that he you know, he was a doctor, and I don't know, as long as they're not engineers or designers,
Yeah.
I feel pretty comfortable. But
Designers like to
anyway,
spend money though.
yeah, this doctor, you know, asked her for a ballpark price on a piece of glass, and she told him, you're looking about this much. Can't remember exactly what it was. He was like, no way. And she's like, oh, yeah, way. And then he was like, oh, you know, let me talk to the owner, you know? And she's like, well, yeah, I am the owner. And then he was like, well, he wanted to talk to me. He was wondering if I would like maybe come down on the price. Now take into account, this guy just walked into our shop, our little showroom area. We haven't seen his job. We haven't seen anything, you know. It's like he just kind of gave her some information. And she's kind of, you know, spitballing a price.
Right.
And he's already arguing with her
Right.
about the
You're
price, right?
You're hoping you could do the job for what you quoted.
Right. Now he's hoping to talk to me, thinking that maybe I'll come down on the price on this job that she's spitballing that we haven't even seen yet. And
Right.
Tiffany's like, yeah, you probably don't want to talk to Chris.
You said he's a doctor, right?
He's a doctor.
Sure.
Because they all need discounts because they don't make enough money.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly right.
it's tough, and like these days, I mean, I don't know that if these days, like, I would really want everybody to know that I was a doctor. I mean, I'm not sure that like doctors really have the best
So what did she say?
rap going right now. Then he ended up calling her dumb.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, right.
oh.
Right. And then so she had to tell me, yeah, we're not friends anymore. It's like, if you want to talk about class, I'll talk to you
Wow.
about class, but otherwise I don't want to talk to you at all.
Oh, I would have given my butt whipping for telling my wife that.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, he's really lucky. I was,
Oh.
because I'm
You
like
know, one of the things
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things I've found is a good friend of ours, she's been my office manager for 12 years, I think. She does a
Wow.
fantastic job. She's super with people. And every once in a while, we'll get a phone call, and it's usually a guy or somebody will come in, usually it's a phone call, and they want to talk to the owner. And she says, well, what can I do to help you? Well, I just need to talk to the owner. Well, okay, but he's not here right now. We can call him, or he can call you later, but is there something I can help you with? Well, no, I just need to talk to the owner. Okay. So she texts me his number, and I call him later because I'm on the road, and I'll talk to him and say, hey, yeah, whatever, and what can I do for you? Yeah, I just need to make an appointment to get you to come take a look at my job. You need to talk to Trina, my office manager, because she's the one that does the scheduling, and frankly, she's way better at it than I am.
Right. I'll
Because it's what
transfer
she
you back.
does all day, every day. So was there something special about it? No, I just need to get it. Okay, call Trina. So what we've found is that there's just some guys out there that just can't bring themselves to respect or talk to women because it's beneath them, I guess. I don't know. It drives me nuts. And I don't have a lot of time for that. I'll help them if I can, but I'm not going to go out of my way to try to do what I can to, go over and above just because they want to talk to me. Dude, you're talking to the owner. That means you're probably going to get worse service than going the regular route. Am I right? You guys are all laughing.
Hear that,
exactly what I'm
Brad?
talking
Hear
about.
that?
Yeah.
But it's true. You all know that's true. If they go through the regular channels, they're going to get better service than they are if they go through the owner, especially when the owner's on the road all day. It just
Yeah, you
and then
don't want to be bothered with
add
it.
in that whole woman thing, and it's lost me now.
Brian, it's funny that you say that because I actually had a customer a couple weeks ago. We'll be installing a shower the next couple of days, I'm sure. But the wife pulled the contractor aside and told him that I was too pretty to know what I was talking about, and that she didn't trust my measurements, and that she wanted somebody else to come measure the shower door.
Wow.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I don't know. That's the weirdest thing that somebody could have said.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you and I live in the South, right? So that's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope it goes in, right?
I think sometimes women can be more sexist than men. It's strange, but we had a female installer, and I had this lady call, and she was complaining, and the main part of her complaint was that she didn't know who this girl was that was on her job site. And I'm like, well, that's Desiree. She's one of our installers. Well, she didn't even introduce herself. I said, well, did the males installers introduce themselves? Why is this double standard? Yeah, we had it was great when Desiree was an installer. We had men react really well to her and be really encouraging to her, but the women seem to be taken aback. I'm sorry for my gender sometimes. It's just not right. I think men are getting way better. I hate to say, I think women are getting worse.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, yeah, women can be very judgmental of each other. I've noticed, and it's like,
Women are crazy. They're nuts.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, because for me, I worked in this field for so long, with just around a bunch of other smelly men, and it's like when we started having women come in, it was like a breath of fresh air for me. It was just really nice to have that. And if you have any common sense, or if you have any experience at all with like human beings, you realize that whenever you introduce some women into the mix, like everything becomes like much more civil, like much more kind of. I mean, in my opinion, in my experience, it's like they just bring a certain level of
Yes.
getting along better and stuff like that.
It's a different dynamic.
It totally is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird when people respond like that. And I think that's exactly kind of what my wife Tiffany was getting from this guy. It was just kind of this sexist, vibe. And she said, oh, he was kind of trying to be, funny. He was kind of like a jokester, and so everything was just kind of that, kind of edgy, kind of humor. But like a lot of times passive aggressive people just sort of hide behind that too, right? Like, oh yeah, I was just kidding when I called you dumb. And it's like, well, that's never a funny joke.
You still called me dumb.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that's thank God, we don't really have to do business with everybody who walks through the door. I used to want to I'm Greek, right? So it's like I've had to fight my whole life not to open up a restaurant, because it's just everything in my DNA. It's like, oh, man, you need to open a restaurant. And thank God I've managed to stave that off, for my whole life, But imagine owning a restaurant.
I'll go eat at that restaurant.
I'm telling you what, I'm not saying it's never going to happen. It could still happen, but so far I've been successful in not doing it. But just imagine having that kind of a business where no matter who walks through the door, you pretty much just have to serve them. I mean, that would be a difficult thing to do.
You could go to Supreme Court. I mean, it could be that you had to make a wedding cake for somebody you may not have wanted to.
Yeah.
That's true. See, that's what I'm talking about.
See?
Yeah.
When there's plenty of other wedding cake places right down the road.
Right.
Yeah, but no. Chris does such a good job. Wants to be. It's got to be him. It's got to be. I'm going to force him. I'm going to take him to the Supreme Court and say, you must.
You must install my shower door.
You must. That's right. I don't want to deal with Tim. I want to deal with, with Chris.
Because he's handsome.
I wonder too how much of it is sexist versus talking to the person on the front line. Maybe they just happen to be women, but there are some people who are so important that they must deal only with the owner. So it could be a little bit of that too.
There's some of that. Yeah, I believe that.
I think it's a fear tactic.
Intimidation tactic.
Yeah, all you got to do is throw it back. I mean, I love getting passive aggressive people. They happen to be the easiest to persuade because they're control freaks. And so all you have to do is innocuously give them the control by asking them no-oriented questions. And you can really, stroke their ego a little bit and take them to the woodshed. Because the only thing that's more important for an egotistical maniac like the doctor is just knowing that you think he's right. And as soon as you start baiting him that way, I would never throw a guy like out the door if he talked to any female in our place like that. Before I threw him out the door with his receipt, I would take his head off. And that's how I would teach him, because those type of people are trying to manipulate to get what they want. And under most circumstances, I go in every collaboration with the, integrity and morals. But as soon as they cross that line, then now it's fair game.
Yeah.
And then and then that's where we make up for some of the mismeasures that I don't do. Some of the other guys, not me. I don't mismeasure.
Right. Well, I think
You're all
Christine is the
perfect.
one that's doing the mismeasures.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just to clarify, Keith doesn't do the mismeasures. He doesn't do any measures. So that is true.
He just looks pretty.
Oh, did you learn that a long time ago?
I do a lot of measuring.
Yeah.
So have you guys
Let's
ever
do-
physically threw anybody out of your office before?
Yeah. You know who yes, actually on 2 occasions.
Fun.
One's physically
Fun.
but one, on 2 different occasions, when I do it is when you get a husband and wife, typically in my experience, has been like real Eastern European, where the wife asks a question and the husband turns around and like yells at her, like, "You're stupid." I said, "Listen, you can't do that here. If my mother heard you say that to your wife here, she'd fucking kill you. She'd kill you. You cannot talk to a woman like that in the showroom." But that would be the only time. We get this fear tactic all the time, you guys. And once you know how to direct it, it's actually really, those are the ones that you want. That's low hanging fruit.
I walked away from a job not long ago. I would say about a month ago. I walked away from a job because of this guy was like that with his wife. When your kids, your parents used to grab you by the underarm and move you out of the way when you're like a 5-year-old kid. He was doing that to her, and I walked away.
Yeah,
I
that's
walked away.
over
I
the
didn't
line.
want nothing to deal with that.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I can tolerate anybody. I've got a lot of tolerance for everyone except for the intolerant. I can't tolerate intolerance.
Chris, you got to read what Dana just said. That's
I did. I
hilarious.
posted.
That's
Dana said,
hilarious.
Dana Higginbotham says, Chris would make a wedding cake, but talk them out of the icing.
That's a good one, Dana.
That's hilarious.
Oh, we were going to
That
keep
was it.
track. How far into it before
Yeah.
we make the coding joke?
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
We need
Thank
to start
you.
a lottery on this.
Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Yep. Well played. Well played, Dana.
Excuse me.
Hey,
Yep.
can I ask you guys a question? Hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna apply this diamond seal on a shower tomorrow. I got a kit. How do you apply it? Like, what steps do you guys take? Since we're already on here.
Is there no instructions?
Yeah. I just follow the instructions on the box.
I threw the box away.
Oh yeah. Well, call those guys up. They're really helpful. They'll
right.
walk you right. They'll walk you through the whole process.
Okay.
You could just use a clean microfiber towel.
Yeah.
And
I
then
got
rub
that.
it on with that.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
They gave me, so I mean.
Is it a new shower or has it been used?
Oh, okay.
It's a new one. I forgot about.
Maybe we could talk
I
Dot
forgot
into a different show.
Yeah,
That she's already seen these shows.
it's a brand new shower. I'm gonna put it in tomorrow. I got four of them to put in tomorrow. At one
Good.
house.
Good day.
Yeah.
Hey, Adrian,
Oh, yeah.
what was that A-frame you had?
The what?
You had an A-frame you showed today.
A-frame? Oh, yeah, I thought my glass. That's I ordered that on Monday. Got all that glass today. So it's all my showers. So
Oh, yeah?
some of those are to one house. Yeah, that's my job for tomorrow. All that
Good.
glass.
Good job.
Yeah.
Happy haircut, by the way.
Huh?
Happy haircut.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I needed it. I don't like waiting. I don't like waiting at the barbershop, wasting my time there. So I'll just wait until I can't stand it anymore, and then I go and just get it done.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky to still have hair to cut. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I seen a picture of my grandfather. He has a full set of hair, so I know I got a good thing going on. So,
There you go.
You got the hair gene.
Yes, I do. Thank God.
Good. Yeah.
I got a question.
Oh, good.
Oh, there he is.
So,
Because this is going nowhere, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
quickly.
good evening, everybody.
Hi.
What's up,
Come on,
Steve?
Steve.
Hey.
How's it going? How's it going, everyone? I've got a builder that I've never done on these before, but they want the channel inset in the tile to where you can't see the hardware. Do you do it completely before mud thin set, or what do you call it? Sheetrock? You put it behind the sheetrock? How do you, what depth of channel do you use? I've never done one, so I have no idea.
The way I do them is you got to set the U channel down, screw it into place before they start putting, and they have to essentially tile up to it, and then you got to leave about a quarter inch of space so for that panel to slide in and out. And then the other trick of it is you're not siliconing it. They have to grout it. So that way that grout gets it in between the glass.
We lost
One
you.
builder, because he does it, he understood. He's the one that taught me, but I hate those. Because you got to go out there 2 or 3 times. And then once you set the panel, that's got to set. You got to come back again. Then you measure for your door last, and then you order your door and bring it back. It's such a pain in the butt. It's almost not worth it until it goes there, and then you get your payday. But
I'm not sure the layout.
Yeah,
so.
but
but there's a lot of moving parts, and then you got to rely on them to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So you have to rely on them to be good to make sure that it goes in right. And then the other thing you got to worry about is if it breaks, if that glass breaks down the road for whatever reason, you got to break up everything to get it out. Well, you can't install a new piece of glass in that same U channel with all that broken glass in there. It's just going to break again.
Well, there's also a likelihood of the glass getting scratched, because if they're going to be grouting around it, and especially when they start cleaning, they grout during their final wash and everything else. If they get any of that grit onto a rag that's going to be used on the glass, then it's going to get scratches. But that's, you might make a double sale,
Yeah.
But
yeah, but it's never going to be their fault that they scratched it. It's always going to be the glass guy.
well, yeah, that happened to me once, and I had a builder that would actually just leave the tile off, the top, and then I'd put the glass in, and then they would tile up to the glass.
Right.
And he did several shower doors like that successfully. One of them did get scratched, and the superintendent tried to blame it on us, but there were so many swirls throughout the whole thing. There was no way that they were going to be able to pin it. And the builder, his boss, basically took over and said, "Yeah, he didn't put that glass in that way,
Yeah.
But
I have a picture of a freestanding panel before the door got put in. I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah.
But
one other thing is you can pressure fit a lot of jobs. Now, I don't know if you can with this, but where you basically don't use any hardware. But if it's open on top, I guess that might be hard. You might be able to put a sleeve over on, tape it on the wall, silicone it all in, and then take let that sleeve over, just hold the panel up while it cures, and then pop it off, and then finish it with silicone. And it'd be another trip, basically.
Right.
Steve, it also matters if it's a steam unit. When you go out there, you got to find out if there's a soffit, because then you got to have a bigger channel up top to, what they lift and drop in place, right?
Lift and drop.
Right.
So what do you usually use for channel? You use CR Lawrence?
CR Lawrence?
I really never use channel, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, all right, so realize you have to put something down, because when they're looking through the glass, if you don't have a finished piece down there, for instance, if you just wanted to set the glass on the Durarock or on the wood, it's going to look ugly.
Right. you see
right?
it.
Even though they tile up to it, you can see through the edge of the glass. So you're going to have to put something in there. Now, you may want to look, they may want black, so it kind of, hides and it doesn't reflect any light. So talk it over with what their fixtures are. But I would use channel there and then have them, if it's a steam, have them leave a big slot up top so you can get it way up and back in. Or watch the width of your panels. You might be able to slide it in from the door opening and in. So it depends what that application is when you get out there.
Yeah, I have no idea the layout, so kind of a broad question, but I'll get a better idea once I go check it out.
What's sealing the U channel to the curb or whatever?
Then I would caulk it underneath there, right, and screw it down and put caulk in.
Yeah,
the
but what are
screw
you
holes.
caulking it to? That's the next thing.
Yeah, well, depends if you got the rubber membrane there. I would still
You should run the rubber membrane up the U channel. So
and over the wood. I put the U channel on top of the rubber membrane.
we did one once where we used a U channel, and they actually ran the membrane up on the U channel, so it was sealed.
That's interesting. Now, Steve, the other thing is, are they going to want you to bury channel vertically up the wall also?
Yeah, I don't have many details on that, but I'll figure it out once I go. It may just be a splash panel of some sort. I'm not sure if it's the whole shower enclosure or just a splash panel. So broad question, but I just want to kind of get an idea before I visit the job.
Good one.
Yeah, there are a few different applications. And I mean, it depends too on if, your door is going to hinge off one of those panels that's buried, if not, I mean, I've gone out and done something like that in one trip where they just kind of basically left a kerf, a slot in the tile where the channel goes. I've been able to go out there, secure it in that slot, and then set the glass in the channel, and just kind of do my whole installation. And they come back and do whatever grouting, or a lot of times they'll just use that, sanded caulk or something to finish it. Usually looks pretty good. But
if you do that, you have to be really careful when you order your doors, your notches, your traditional lineup between hinging a door off a panel that's sitting in channel as opposed to that panel going all the way down.
Yeah.
Then your difference of your hinge notch is different.
Yeah.
You have to compensate for that.
Yeah, you gotta order that door after that panel is installed and secured. Then you measure for your door and so you can put your hinge location where you need to be.
In a perfect world, if you have the time, that is the way to do it. You're right. But if it's a builder, he's probably there on the day of closing, so I doubt it.
They want it done.
Right.
It was yesterday and they're still waiting for the stuff. Right?
Yeah, I've actually got one just like that going on in Carmel right now. So I'm waiting on the materials to come in, but it's pretty simple. It's a pretty small little space, and it's got like stonework where they just kind of left that space on each side. So it's a 3-panel. It's going to be a door hinging off a fixed panel, then a fixed panel on the other side. 3-piece inline like that.
Then they'll just fill the stone back in later around.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be able to do it all in one trip. I rarely will like do one part and then go back a second time. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes there's just no way around it. But there are a lot of different applications for that. And the great thing about that question is that, it gives you a chance to think about all these pitfalls. When a person asks you if you can do that, or if you will do that, or if you have done it, to go like, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that? You do realize that the water infiltration is going to be a huge issue. I mean, it's pretty easy to keep water from getting in, behind the substrate in a regular installation. But when you start like burying channel in there and stuff, I mean, it's a whole nother can of worms.
Especially when it's on the second floor.
Yeah, because
right.
if you surface mount, you're gonna know it's leaky because you're gonna see the water. On the bare to you channel, you don't know until the damage is already there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a high chance that the glass won't even see water. It seems like 80% of my jobs, the glass doesn't even get wet anyways. So
That's good.
The showers are just so big that like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like those.
Chris, let me ask you a question because I don't use your same software. If I was to order that door with the C.R. Lawrence showers online, does it give you the opportunity to compensate for the hinge notch locations?
No, because you got to see how far they grew the channel for. You don't know that until after it's set in there. Because if they cut it out first and have you set your channel when there's a groove already cut, you don't know how deep they went. So you got to set it in there and then get your depth on that to get that measurement.
Yeah, so like what I'll do on showers online is just pretend as though, because it doesn't like give you that option. So I just pretend as though the bottom of my U channel is the floor with a curve, whatever, and then make the gap under my door 3/4 of an inch bigger than it would be. So instead of like, I don't know what it's normally 7/16, I think is the standard thing. So, add a 1/2 inch to that or 3/4 of an inch to that, so that, yeah, because you want your door to have that clearance, and maybe even a little bit more because it's going to be a zero entry, right? I mean, you don't usually do that on a curve. Sometimes you do, but usually that's a zero entry opening where they're doing something like that. They don't normally have a curve and then want you to hide the channel. They usually have like, the zero entry type situation. So yeah, there's a lot of things in showers online. It's just like you have to kind of do a lot of workarounds, which is a little bit frustrating.
And just keep in mind, for every extra trip, you charge them the trip charge. Put it into the bid beforehand. So you're going to be there, 2 other times, a total of 3. You charge them, $150 a trip. Because it's more of a pain in the ass than what it's worth sometimes. Because of all the extra trips that you got to go back out there for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might be on a big job. Like some of the houses out here have, 4 or 5 bathrooms with showers, So if you're on a house like that, you're probably going to be making a few trips out there anyway. So you can just kind of be, strategic in the way that you go out and just plan it out. But yeah, otherwise, you're right. I mean, if they're willing to pay for it, I'm willing to go back 3 or 4 times.
We actually had one of these. It was the source of a potential lawsuit. After the channel was installed, the glass was installed. I don't know, it was several years later, and they came back and they said that the channel was leaking because it was installed incorrectly. They had wanted the tile on the inside, but then they wanted sheetrock on the outside. I can't quite remember the scenario because I went back to our notes and found out that we didn't do it. So I had notes about, we do not recommend this type of installation. We recommend making sure you have waterproofing underneath. We will sell you channel that you'll have to pick up at our shop. So I pulled that out and handed it to him and never heard another thing. Well, actually, I heard back from the homeowner and the contractor who both said, do you have any thoughts on how we can get the insurance company to pay for this? Because they keep on blaming you and we keep telling them it wasn't you. I'm like, sorry, sue the insurance company. I don't know, but I was so happy that, we insist on waterproofing underneath there, all these other, crazy ideas that contractors come up with. No.
Sure.
Excellent point. And that's the other thing I always tell people in a situation like this is hey, I'm not taking responsibility for any leaking. I mean, if you're willing to take all responsibility for water infiltration, then I'm willing to do that.
Hey, Mom, she needs to pick you up.
But there's no way that here. Let me mute Adrian here. But there's no way that I'm going to do it and then be responsible for water infiltration later.
Right.
I think Brian had a question. What's on your mind, Brian?
Yeah, did you guys see the post that I made earlier today about the corrosion on polished brass BCU4s?
I saw something. I thought it was just like the screws didn't match or something.
Well, the screw that was the reason why I was going back, because straight out of the box the screws they looked terrible. So I got some new screws. I went back today to install the screws, and to my shock, the silicone apparently had corroded the polished brass finish. I've never seen that before. So that means I've got to tear out both panels and replace all 5 of the pieces of hardware, which means obviously cleaning all the silicone off. Hey, another benefit for not doing silicone there, Chris.
You were reading my mind.
I've got to clean all the silicone off of the glass, all the silicone off of the tile. You know the story. And then try to make it look good when I put it back in. But have you guys run across that? Apparently, everybody on on Facebook is telling me, yeah, you can't use acetic cure silicone on polished brass. I didn't know that. I assumed that there was a finish on it, just like everything else, a lacquer or something.
Okay, so there is, but you need to get what they call PVD coating on that, so it's impervious to that. And they are correct about the acid cure caulking on polished brass finish. That does happen.
Never heard that.
And some of the brushed nickels also. Same thing. You may get that on certain brushed nickel products.
So
but on polished brass, there's a PVD coating. It costs more, but nothing will get to it.
Huh. So are you guys all using neutral cure, or I don't know. I've never heard that before. I've never.
I
had
do.
That problem.
I only use RTV. I never use acid cure.
Is it not cloudy though?
Yes.
Cloudy?
Yeah,
It's not.
I use
I
RTV.
mean,
It's cloudy.
it's not
cloudy,
crystal. It's not crystal clear,
Yeah,
but it's clear enough to where my customers stick their fingers in it every time because they can't see it.
Don't touch. Yeah.
I had that done today.
I mean, when I do use it,
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, they'll come in and go, "Are you going to caulk?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that all the time. So it's
I had that
like,
the other day.
and I like the fact that it's a little bit opaque. It actually covers more stuff. I mean, because really, what silicone is for is to hide your mistakes. So I mean, why would you want crystal clear caulking? That's not going to hide your mistakes.
That's funny.
Well, Chris, you have mistakes?
A viper.
So I have a question for you guys. I'm going to be installing my first Cambridge double barn door slider with a notch panel return tomorrow. I've never installed one of these. Any tips or tricks from any of you guys that have put these in before?
The
Yeah,
bar
just be a
has to
salesman and you don't have to install it.
Yeah.
you need to cut the bar with a special saw that I don't remember, but you can't use like the same saw that you use for like a crescent or a serenity. You need something
Yeah,
You need a bad
I've
saw.
installed the Cambridge sliders before in just an inline opening, but I've never done it with a notch panel and then a return as well. I mean, I have the adapter block, and I think all my specs are good.
I didn't even know it allowed for that. I didn't know there was a piece that
yeah, there's a 90-degree adapter that you mount.
Oh, it's the jagged little pill.
You mount the
Oh,
other
you're doing a 90. Oh.
end of the bar to the return panel and then to the wall on the other side.
So what's your question? I installed one a couple of days ago. What is it?
The general question is any tips or tricks, as this will be my first time installing one of these?
Uh,
Useful
just-
tips or
just-
tricks.
So
Just
she's
put
probably
your-
about
your-
55,
your-
56.
What's that?
Yeah, may not be.
Brad, mute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. He's talking to somebody else.
Boy,
Yeah. I think, the primary thing is like making sure with Cambridge series, the main thing is making sure you've got clearance at the bottom, that your doors are not going to rub. That to me, that has been the biggest challenge of anything. In fact,
So,
when I lay them out, I always make that gap a little bit bigger than what they say. I think they say like
4
what do they say?
7/8.
No. I'm
4
talking about
7/8.
the bottom of the doors, the gap. At the bottom of the
3/8.
doors.
Yeah,
Right.
They call for
3/8
3/8.
isn't really enough.
So,
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
no.
do it at 1/2 inch because you've got those little plastic edge seal or sweeps that you put on the bottom, and they've got to go through the guide. And
Right.
if your door is a little too short, it's not going to be a problem at all because they're still going to fit in that guide. It's going to work great. But
Right.
if that gap is not big enough, you're going to drag and it's going to suck, and it's like you're gonna fight trying to get it not to drag.
So my trick
Oh,
when I
am I interrupting you?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
So what I would do is make sure that you get that fixed panel installed
Up high enough.
exactly, and make sure you really check the layout of those two little holes where the that little bracket gets connected. That they haven't drilled those too low to stop you from getting that bracket.
Now, when you mount that bracket, what's the play like inside of those holes? Like, would it be beneficial for me to stuff some blocking at the bottom of that hole to keep it? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you want to keep that up as high as you can possibly get it. You really can't have too much clearance. I mean, I guess you could possibly have too much, but that's never been a problem for me. It's always that getting it to go through the guide without dragging.
Yeah. Like when I set them on an inline, I think they call for take your finished height and deduct 4 7/8 from your top, and that's where you mark for your wall bracket. I always deduct 4 3/4 to give me that extra 1/8 inch. So same thing, just coming at it a different way, but because like you said, those plastic sweeps, man, those things can catch on the corner of the guide, and then they pigtail, and leave just little shavings of vinyl. I personally, I don't like those sweeps, because there's no way for the homeowner or customer to really get them off and clean them if they need to, and it's kind of a pain in the neck.
Too bad.
But
yeah, a lot of times we leave them off if the shower is deep enough and the pitch is strong enough.
Correct.
We'll just
Yeah.
leave it off. I mean, and we even tell customers, like, if it's a problem, we'll come back out, throw one on. But I mean,
I think you get away with
I do the same thing. Yeah, if I can leave it off, I kind of try to push them to it, because they're more trouble than they're worth sometimes.
But isn't there quite a bit of
putting dam
slop?
strips at the bottom of those?
What's that?
Are you putting dam strips at the bottom of those sliding doors, like the Half Moon one from Sierra Lawrence?
sometimes we do, but not
all
usually.
the time. I have before, but not all the time.
So, I mean, it would have to be like from one end to the other under both panels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you'd end up with a channel in between the two of them. I mean, I don't know how you could really make that work.
I did it one time. I centered it in the middle of the guide, so no water can get through the middle, so I just glued it down.
But if it gets on the outside panel, it's stuck outside and can't get back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at that time,
yeah. And the other thing is that isn't there quite a bit of slop in that door if you don't put the guide on, because it's the guide is made to accommodate that sweep. So without the sweep, it's about as, I don't know.
You get a little more. Yeah, you get a little more play in there.
Yeah, and a kind of a sound, like a kind of a rattling. Because I've had to do that before. You know, I've had to do it. It's just like didn't have enough clearance, you know, and got away with it. But yeah, to me, that's the biggest challenge right there. Otherwise, those things are a breeze to put in.
Oh, they're easy. They're easy.
Fast, good money making little closure there, in my opinion.
So I did one I did one not too long ago, and I put my return up, put my little side panel on, and when I get my height, I always go to the top of the pitch of the curb, so you know that the outside sweep is gonna pass. Like that's the part that messes up everybody. If the outside sweep does not clear, that's the part that usually gives you the hardest time, is the outside one, because the inside of it's already sloping down, so the inside sweep is no problem. It's easy. It's just when I get my height, I always go from the top of the pitch, mark it, and then come down my 4 and 7. Perfect fit all the time. Never have a problem with the sweeps getting in the way.
Yeah, I like Brian. I like your idea of just using up 4 3/4 dimension instead of the 4 7/8. That's a smart way. It's easier to do the math too, really, than
Yeah.
And then then you're an 1/8 inch high, because I'll kind of do that too, try to cheat it up a little bit. And then you got set screws. You can adjust it up another, probably another 1/8.
You can get about another 1/8. Yeah.
Yeah. So that all counts with those things. Good question.
Cool.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Okay, I got one.
All right.
So looking for some guidance. I got an email from a customer and I haven't called her back yet. It's a remodel customer. It's one of our biggest. They do tons of remodels. And she's been complaining for the last couple of weeks about price increases. And, I tried to have a conversation with her. She goes, we set prices, like 120 days ahead of time. We can't have price changes. And, so I tried to explain how the real world operates around her. And I haven't called her back because I haven't figured out how to not start the conversation with, have you just now opened your eyes? How have you not seen this for 2 years? I don't even know what to do.
What world are you living in?
Yeah, she's a Republican, so I can't go there. So anyway,
has she been to the gas station lately?
I saw the little cat bar. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. So she emailed last time she did this. I said, here's an idea. I could take every single one of your jobs and I could increase every price by 10%. And then that way, if you have some jobs that, that change, then I've got enough cushion to give you, your money back. Or how about you do that with your customers? I don't know how to deal with people who
brilliant.
Have they never heard
Raise
of an
the prices.
escalation clause?
Yeah, and that's what I said. You could do an escalation clause. You could also, put it into some contractors have told me that they're, where they would normally have like a 30%, just in case, whatever. They've done an extra price overrun buffer. I don't know how to tell her how to run her job. And she's acting like I'm stupid because I don't understand that you can't just change prices from quote to, install. And I'm afraid I'm going to insult her.
Let's say, for example, your single frameless door, your price changes every single one depending on size. So instead of $1,000 for a 28 by 72, is it the same 1,000 for a 27 by 76, or do you change that price on there?
No,
we have set pricing.
No, so the deal is back in March, she got a quote for a shower and she wants that exact, and it happens to be an Agalite as the manufacturer, happens to be the exact same shower. But there was this thing that happened a little while ago about this 40% glass increase that now that shower doesn't cost the same amount. And, I'm not going to, throw in the extra money, and she doesn't want to throw in the extra money. Who has to pay for that price increase? Well, the homeowner does.
The homeowner.
Sorry if you don't understand that.
Is it in the same house? Or is it
So they pre-plan. So they quote their jobs at the beginning.
Shannon, how long are your quotes good for?
15 days.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
It used to be 30. It used to be 30. We changed it to 15. I told her that I'd go to 30 for her, but she wants 90. She wants 120. She's like, at the beginning, you don't understand how the remodel project works. We quote these things in advance before we start construction. I'm like, you don't understand how the world works.
Right.
We have a couple of contractors like that. Actually, we're dealing with exactly the same thing right now. And we are going to meet them a little bit in the middle because I get it. But they also have an escalation clause in place with their customer. So they just aren't comfortable going back to the customer and having that conversation. So I feel like I have to be the bad guy and kind of put my foot down. But I don't know. Brad and I are playing good cop, bad cop about it. So we'll figure it out.
And probably on this conversation, I have a feeling that I'm going to meet her in the middle on this one and then say, hey, don't do this again. Man up. Tell the customer that, things happen. The world's a volatile place. Deal with it.
And don't vote for Biden.
No, I have a job right now. I quoted back in February, 100 feet of handrail with U-channel and laminated sentry glass. And I told them at the time, the prices are going to go up. And so I got them to buy the aluminum back then. And I says, I can't guarantee the glass price, so they're fine with that. And what I bought the aluminum for back then, it's another, $1,000 for what I bought.
Yeah. I like that idea of going to a 15-day, guaranteed price, man. That's smart because like you say, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, you should know that the world is kind of a different place than it was a couple of years ago. And I mean, for you to be able to get something at all is pretty neat. The job I finished today, they were like, wow, I mean, you're the only one who came in on time. And I'm giving people like a 3-week lead time. And people are amazed that I can get stuff done in 3 weeks. So that's the right attitude to have, really.
It also puts the pressure on them to go ahead and move forward with it. And they need to go ahead and get quotes from other people if they were planning on doing that rather than waiting. So that actually is a really awesome idea. We should look at 15 days. Shannon, my husband just said you should send her the inflation headlines.
Well, actually, I'm going to send her a copy of our July newsletter where the lead article is, what did I say in the headline? Glass industry reels while, glass prices increase 40%. Yeah. It's like, what else do you want me to do?
Yeah, but the thing is how many times do you go fill up your trucks with gas? And you tell them, I'm a repeat customer. They don't care.
Right. Can I get this one for free?
Yeah, it's like I've been here 3 times this week. Can I get one? Can I get one? That's not gonna happen. Like with a discount, they ask for a discount. I'll give you 10%, and this is all verbal. I'll give you the 10%. Okay, let me think about it. That 10% is good until I walk out that door. As soon as I walk out that door, you're at full price again. Because now I got to stop what I'm doing with another customer to go back and fill out your paperwork and get you the links to pay and all that stuff. So there's all extra labor. If you want it, you want to negotiate, we can, but it's a yes or no now.
That's awful generous of you. That's awfully generous of you to give them 10% off.
I
I
sell it
wouldn't
like
do
that.
it. Well, hey, great talk, everyone. Really nice having some couple of new people on, or at least one new one. Another guy who was in disguise. Hope you all come back again next week, and we'll solve the world's problems all over again.